Hello everyone, I'm Paul and today we're solving problem 2843, count symmetric integers. So we are given two integers, one low and one high, and we need to iterate through every number in between. So let's say low is equal to 1 and high is equal to 100. So we want to iterate through every number between these two. So let's say, for example, that we are at number 22. Well, in each iteration we want to compare the first half of the numbers with the second half of the numbers. If the sum of the first half equals the sum of the second half, we can add 1 to our result. Okay, so let's say now we are iterating through all numbers between 1 and 2000, and let's say we are at number 1111. We want to split this number in two. We want to sum this part. The sum of 1 plus 1 is 2, and we want to sum this part also. The sum is 2. 2 equals 2. So we can add 1 to our result. Okay, so with this in mind, if we go down here, we have the constraints, and we know that high will never exceed 10 to the power of 4. What this means is that we can iterate through every number between low and high. So with this in mind, this solution will have a time complexity of big O of n times m, where n is every number we are iterating through, so high minus low, and m would be the maximum length among every number, which is the same as length of high. The number with the maximum length will be high. And finally, space complexity for this one will be big O of 1. So now let's go with the code and hopefully you will get the idea. So we will start by saying result equals 0, and for every number in the range between low and high plus 1, because high is included, we will create a text from the number. We will call this text, and we will create it from the number like this. And now we'll say if the length of the string multiplied by 2 is different from 0, so if the number is not even, we want to continue, because in the problem description says that we need to work with symmetric numbers only. So now we'll say count a equals 0, and for I in range, the length of the current string divided by 2. So for the first half we will add to count a the integer from the current character, so txt I. So just to be clear, this is the first half of the string, and now we will count numbers in the second half of the string. Now we'll say count b equals 0, and for I in range, the length of the string divided by 2 up to the length of the string. Count b plus equal int txt I. And here we'll say if count a equals count b, we can add 1 to a result, because this means that both halves are equal. So result plus equal 1. And finally, we want to return the result. And just to make this more readable, we are putting this into a variable size, for example. And here we'll say size equals this, and we'll replace this with size, and here 2. And we are moving this up here, and this would be size 2. So this is the entire code. I think it should work. Now let's see what happens. And as you can see, this works. So if you found this useful, please drop a like, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye bye.